Namaste. 10th class. In the part 1, we have discussed about the first class, starting and introduction also. So now we will continue in the part 2. This is part 2 of first lesson. This is part 2. So in the last lesson we have completed about the introduction. So where is the location of the India in the complete world, and how we can calculate the time, and we can point out the place. So these two things we have discussed along with latitudes and longitudes. Here we also discussed that the zero degree longitude is called as prime meridian and Greenwich line. So here Greenwich longitude is a special. Greenwich means is a place which is located in the London, and this is the place having the specialty of the sunrise rises on the earth first in the Greenwich. So that's why we will calculate the time, the sun rising according to the Greenwich. So these all things we have discussed in the last class part 1. So now we are moving to the next topic, that is geological theme of the earth. So how India was formed? In India we are having several landforms, that means several relief features of India. So in it, the main thing and the important specific thing is Himalayas. How Himalayas were formed, we will discuss in this topic. The geological theme of India and the world is, in the millions of years ago, there was only small land which is called as Angara land and Gondwana land. These two lands used to stay like this. For example, this is a Angara land. Along with this, there was a Gondwana land. So after some years passing, going on some years, these Gondwana land used to started to move the land. The surroundings of the land is a river, ocean, which is called as Pethic Ocean. So this ocean is flowing surrounding of these lands. The two lands are called as Angara land and Gondwana land. So these two lands are in the millions of years ago, only these two lands are there on the earth. So after these lands, after going on, passing the years, these Gondwana land used to pass from there. This land started passing from there. That means moving from there. These land used to pass which side? Means northeast side. This land used to pass this side, northeast side. Here in this northeast side, this Gondwana land came to the northeast side, and it was also buckled up with Angara land. It was moved towards the Angara land. It was moving to this Angara land, towards Angara land. When this Gondwana land is passing to the northeast side, and it is also moving towards the Angara land, at that time the river which is flowing in between these lands used to buckle up. That means it is getting very pressure on it. When we are taking the water on our hands like this, means if we put like this, pressuring means what will happen? The water will come out of our hands, outside. So in that way, in that so many years, In the process of these moving of these Gondwana land, the river which is flowing around these lands used to buckle up. That means it is getting pressure. The two lands are getting near means the water is getting very pressure. That's why it is coming on the it is flowing on the lands, two lands. The flowing of water. This Gondwana land, when it was came towards the Angara land, this land came into some pieces. It was collide with each other. The land came into divided into some parts. So along with that, this water is also getting pressure and it is coming on the land. That's why the continuous flowing of water on the lands became Himalayas. In this way, Himalayas are in our India. I think all of you understood how the process. Again, I am repeating. See, in the millions of years ago, there are only two lands, that is Angara land and Gondwana land. The ocean which is flowing around this is called as Tethys Ocean. So, on passing the years, the Gondwana land used to move from south to the northeast side. It going on moving this side. This process is not happened in 1 day or 1 year or 1 month. It was taken so many millions of years, lakhs of years. In that years, this Gondwana land used to move this side and it is collide with Angara land, came towards the Angara land and it is collide with each other. In the process of colliding with each other, the river which is flowing in between, the river got pressured and the water came out on the two lands. So in the Gondwana land, our India is situated in this Gondwana land. So this land, the water which is flowing from middle to the land with the pressure, this water going on flowing means it was changed into the Himalayas. So because of no sunlight, because of very less sunlight, because of very coolness, the water which is flowing on the land got frozen. After that, it was changed into the Himalayas. This process was taken a lot of years, and our Indian Himalayas are known as young Himalayas comparing to all over. Because these Indian Himalayas were created only 17 lakh years ago. 70 million years ago only. So many millions years ago, these two lands were collide with each other. So in this way, our India and the Himalayas both are created. In this way, our India, the land of Gondwana, was divided into some pieces, and at the same time the Himalayas were created, and at the same time our India is also got other different shape. So in this way, the correlation, the Himalayas creation and the lands colliding, the river, all this were happened. So this is the topic of geological theme of India. So nextly, the topic, the relief features of India are, we have discussed now itself that the main and important landform of our India is Himalayas. Himalayas, deserts, plateaus, coastal plains, river basins, Yamuna and Sindhu river basins. All these are our Indian landforms. So, according to the point wise and according to the topic wise, we will discuss about every topic. Now, the first thing is Himalayas. The first thing is Himalayas. Himalayas. So now itself we have discussed that what are Himalayas, how Himalayas were started. Okay. So here Himalayas, in the Himalayas, first of all we will locate where is the Himalayas in India. So for example, this is the Indian map. So in this Indian map, we all know that this is Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir. This is Arunachal Pradesh. This is Sikkim. Down of Sikkim, Mizoram. Sorry, Meghalaya. Meghalaya. Here Nepal. Down Uttar Pradesh. Bihar. Here Uttarakhand. So these are the states belonging in the north and east. Here why I am saying about only north and east states means in our India Himalayas are located from north to northeast part. This is north. Himalayas are located from north to northeast part. This is the first thing. Himalayas are located from north to northeast part of our India. That means it was located like half moon, like this. It was located as half moon. So here the Himalayas are spreaded from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Here in the Nepal also there is Himalayas, but Nepal is not in our India. So except Nepal, we can see the Himalayas passing from Jammu and Kashmir to the Arunachal Pradesh. Here in this way, in this expenditure, in this extension, Himalayas are divided into three parts. In this extension, Himalayas are divided into three parts. So here the breadth of the Himalayas, the extension, the Himalayas are like this. From Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh, in the starting of Jammu and Kashmir, the mountains, Himalayas are having very breadth. This is 500 kilometers. And coming to the Arunachal Pradesh, it is reduced to 90 kilometers. Okay? In this way, the extension of the Himalayas in the Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh, it is going on decreasing. That's why from 500 kilometers to 90 kilometers. Here, see, in this way, the complete expenditure of the here from Jammu and Kashmir to Andhra Pradesh, the complete expenditure is 5,000 kilometers. It is 5,000 kilometers. Here we discussed about the broadness, breadth of the Himalayas, and the longness of from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh is 5,000 kilometers. So coming to the three parts of Himalayas. What are the three parts of Himalayas? What are the three parts? Three parts of Himalayas. Firstly, Greater Himalayas. Nextly, Lesser Himalayas. Thirdly, Shivalik. Okay. So these are the three types of Himalayas. Firstly, we will discuss about the greater. Greater means, here greater means the above of 6001 kilometers, meters to the above 10,000 meters. The height of the Himalayas above 6001 to 10,000 is mountains. These are greater Himalayas. That means they are very high. Nextly, lesser are from 3,001 to 4,500. This is the height of the lesser. And the below are Shivalik. So these, we all know that we will calculate the height of the hill or a mountain from the zero. That means sea level. From that sea level we are saying these calculations. These greater Himalayas from 6,000 to above 6,000 means these are maybe Mount Everest, Mount K2, all these Himalayas will come under this greater Himalayas. The most of all, these greater Himalayas will come under the Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, in this area. At the place of north only, we can see the greater Himalayas. In the starting, we have discussed about the broadness of Himalayas, no? Here, in this part, here up to here, this is greater Himalayas. Up to middle, this is part number 2, that means lesser. This is part 3, Shivalik. This is Jammu and Kashmir area. This is Arunachal Pradesh area. So these three parts are spreading, is situated in this way. At the north place there are greater Himalayas in the middle ways. That means these are at the Nepal and Uttar Pradesh. In these areas we can see this lesser. And next one, last one is Shivaliks. So in this way these three are situated on the land of India. So here one more specialty of greater Himalayas. Here the great thing we have discussed in the previous classes, that means 6th, 7th, 8th, in that classes we have discussed that there are perennial rivers. Perennial rivers means the rivers which won't dry, won't get lesser. In the whole year, these rivers will be always flowing and there is no drying of the water. These rivers are called as perennial rivers. So the perennial rivers are originated in the Himalayas. How the origination of the perennial rivers were happened in the Himalayas? We have discussed that the height of the greater Himalayas are about 6,000 meters. Means, so we normally know that the height of the mountain is in the above the 6,000 meters is greater Himalayas. Here, when we are crossing the 160 or 120 meters of the hill, then it will be decreased 1 degree. 1 degree will be decreased. So if we are on the land means we will get the heat of the land. The heatness So for example, this is the mountain, this is the sea level, this is sea level. So here 6,000 above. See here the mountain, if we are going upon to the Himalayas, upon to the mountain means we are traveling to the upside. If we cross 120 meters, for every 120 meters we will decrease 1 degree. 1 degree will be decreased. For all these 6,000 meters means maximum 50 degrees will be decreased. The temperature of 50 degrees will be less, minus 50. So that's why the top of the mountains is covered with ice and snow. There won't be any temperature. That's why the ice and snow will be covered on the top of the Himalayas. These Himalayas, in some time, if any rainy time or on some only little bit of sunlight will fall on the, when little bit of sunlight fall on the top of the Himalayas means the snow which is covered on the top of the Himalayas will melt and it will flows to the down. It will flows to the down. The water which is, the snow which is melted on the top, that will flows in the form of water to the bottom of the mountain. The flowing water to the bottom, this will flow downwards. Himalayas are at the top. That means they are the top. The north is very top. That's why the bottom, the north will be top. That's why the water will be flows to the down. That's why the water which was melted on the Himalayas will come down as a river, and these rivers are flowing down to the whole India. That means from north part to the here down, East Godavari, West Godavari. In these areas they will come and they will merge into the Bay of Bengal. So these rivers are called as Yamuna and Sindhu. Brahmaputra also. So these rivers, in the complete year, the water may be melt at any time in the rainy season, and every some more times the sun rises will fall on the top. Then the ice and the snow will melt and it will form like a water. It will flow in the rivers. These rivers the snow will be melt every year or whole year. That's why the water will be present in the perennial rivers. These water bodies, water rivers every year, whole year. That's why these rivers are called as perennial rivers. These perennial rivers won't have any drying up, won't get any lesser water. And more than that, these perennial rivers make the flowing area, the place where they will flow, the complete area they will make the fertile land. They will make fertile land. Why? Because in the way of flowing, these perennial rivers takes silt and mud, which is in the pressure of flowing. They will catch, this water will catch the salt, silt, and some fertility from one land to other land. The particles will come from one land to other land. That's why in which area these perennial rivers are flowing, the surrounding area will become very fertile. This is called as Himalayas. The originating of the rivers in the Himalayas, and the perennial rivers are drying up water bodies. These rivers are used to so many places, farming, drinking water, and everything. So many members are getting livelihood from these rivers, and at last it will merge into the Bay of Bengal. Brahmaputra from the West Bengal and East Godavari, West Bengal, Ganga river, Yamuna river, Sindhu, all this. So this is the Himalayas, and totally their greater Himalayas. So here Yamuna and Sindhu basins, all these were created in the Himalayas. So this is about the Himalayas. That too about the greater Himalayas. So the next one, lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks, we will discuss in the part 3. We will discuss in the part 3. If you are having children, 10th class children, if you are having any doubts, means you can call me and ask me. Okay. So while explanation, note your points on your book. Don't forget it. Mark in your textbooks. If you are having any doubt, means take your textbook and read once. It will be very easy to you. Okay. Now we will continue the next lesson, next topics in the part 3.